Well, it's finally here. Wave 6 of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC. I played it and it was a lot of fun, and there was a lot of extra stuff that was really great. Like the characters like the Kongs, Pauline, Peachette, which was interesting. I would have preferred Nabbit, but oh well. As well as a music player, which I think is really cool. It's great to see that. And some new Mii costumes, and the fact that something about creating rooms, you no longer need to friend someone, you just need the ID. So all this stuff is pretty great changes. So today, I'm going to be ranking all the tracks in Wave 6, and then I'll be ranking, eventually in some time, in due time, I'll be ranking all the tracks across the entire Booster Course Pass. And before I do that, I'd like to apologize because I know it's been months since I uploaded, and I don't want to just ignore it because that ultimately did happen, and I'm sorry, I just haven't been in the best place, so yeah, apologies. I can try to upload more, but there isn't really much for me to say, and my channel doesn't really get much attention, and I doubt it will, especially after that hiatus. But anyways, number 8 is Wii Daisy Circuit. In the original, this track was solid, but it was the precursor for some of the best tracks, not just in Mario Kart Wii, but in the whole series, so it's kind of overlooked. Here, it's kind of the same way. I mean, it's not one of my favorite tracks, and maybe not one of the best ways to end off the Wii tracks, but luckily it's not the last Wii track. But the sunset is quite pretty, the remix is really nice, and it's cool to add some boost pads and stuff, and overall it's pretty solid. They did add the wooden piranha plant cardboard cutout before that house shortcut, which is cool, and they added a glider. It's still quite a pretty track, just not one of my favorites, and I honestly did prefer the more golden look in the Wii version, even if it was more saturated. Number 7 is SNES Bowser Castle 3. This was honestly the biggest surprise when we saw the trailer, and I have to say, this is a massive improvement of the original. It's not fantastic by any means, nor is it really that great, but it's still a huge improvement, and it's a lot of fun. I like how you can drive on the walls now, which is pretty cool. The additions of being able to trick over the thwomps, as well as having the lava grates from the GBA Bowser Castles is cool. The remix was really great. Overall, I think it was a great track, and they did a good job bringing it back. And sure, it's not a GBA Bowser Castle, and it's a shame we didn't get one, but it was pretty close, and they did a good job replicating them. Number 6 is Tour Rome Avanti. So, with the final tour tracks, this one was pretty cool. I have to complain, the layout is pretty confusing, and the fuzzies and the circles are kind of pointless since they're hard to hit. But other than that, it's a pretty fun track. The Coliseum is really cool. I like how you have the chain jumps and the pits. I like when you circle around the Coliseum, and when you glide over, it seems like the lake. Overall, yeah, it was a pretty cool track. And it was quite pretty, too. Like, really. I love the architecture here. Although, I suppose that goes for the real-life room as well. Number 5 is Madrid Drive. This is the last city tour track, and I think they went out pretty solid. I really like the stadium with the soccer balls, and I like how you have the wiggler going through the plaza. And I also like how on lap 1, you have the piranha plant popping out of what looks like an art gallery. And the music is pretty solid as well. It's a shame we couldn't have gotten some balls, but maybe that would have been too stereotypical. But this is pretty fun. Number 4 is 3DS Rosalina's Ice World. This is a solid track. The remix is fantastic, as was the original theme. The camera gets really distorted and wonky when you're circling around that first loop, which is annoying, like when you're trying not to fall off the crack of the ice. But other than that, it's fun. I like driving on the different glaciers, and I like how they added a shortcut near the end. And overall, it's quite pretty and quite fun. Number 3 is Tour Piranha Plant Cove. Pretty solid track. I know there was another Piranha Plant track they could have added, so they didn't technically add all the Tour Nitros, but oh well, we got most of them. I suppose that's a shame, but this is pretty cool. I like how you have the Unagi eel. The music is pretty solid, and it's a track that I'm not too familiar with, especially compared to some of the other tour tracks. I like the Piranha Plant designs and the ruins, and there's some actually pretty cool shortcuts in 200cc already that the community has found. So yeah, overall it's a pretty cool track. Number 2 is GC and DK Mountain. The classic track is back, where you barrel up all the way up to the top of the mountain, which now seems even angrier this time around. The ramps are no longer made of wood, but are back to being part of the mountain, which I'm sure Nathaniel Bandy is happy about. There are some DK barrels, and even the shortcut is still popular. Is still here, the gap cut, but now the bridge is wavy. It didn't change much. We do have the half pipes again from Wii, which is cool. Anyways, like I said, it didn't change much, but it didn't need to. It was fantastic. The remix is okay. It didn't really change too much, I think. Number 1 is Wii Rainbow Road. This track is fantastic, and my favorite Rainbow Road in the series, so it was bound to be pretty cool to see, and this especially is our final track for the entire Boosted Quartz Pass. We've really come a long way since the first wave, with Toad Circuit's ugly visuals. But anyways, though, this track looks absolutely gorgeous, and that can be said about a lot of the tracks from Wave 2 and Wave 3 especially onward. Anyways, though, back to the track itself, not to get carried off track. That's funny. The music is pretty fantastic remix. I like how when you go down to the earth, you burn up like you're entering the atmosphere again from falling, which is pretty cool. They added that back, even though the falling isn't nearly as bad as it was in Wii. The layout is still as fun as ever, although I wish they didn't have as many guardrails here. The half pipe being there is cool. We have the cannon. What can I say? It doesn't change much. It didn't need to. The track is fantastic. So yeah, there we go. The Boosted Quartz Pass started out being a little controversial because of the visuals, but overall, well, it ended up being pretty fantastic. Sure, we might not have gotten tracks like Wario Shipyard or Airship Fortress, but what we got was pretty cool, and we got some fantastic tracks. Thank you for watching, and have a good day. Thank you for watching.